So I'm not trying to speak too soon or anything, but after 2 long years of this and this and this, it looks like the world is finally going back to normal. Whoops, looks like I jinxed the entire planet. And as more and more countries around the world reopen their borders, it's time to plan some sick 2022 trips, and that's what I'm here for. We're gonna do a countdown of the top 10 budget travel destinations for 2022. So I made this list using 2 factors. Number 1 is how will your overall experience be? How beautiful is it? How much is there to do there? How friendly are the locals? Everything that contributes to you having a good time there. The second thing is cost. I'm not talking about your flight there, we're all coming from different places. I'm talking about once you're there, how much money will you need to spend to have an enjoyable visit? Pretty much this list is just how much fun will you have per dollar there. Why am I always flashing money in my videos? What am I, Mr. Beast? I put 100 countries in this circle, and the last to leave is the best budget travel destination. So for number 10 on our list, we're going over to Northern Africa, to the beautiful country of Morocco. One reason a lot of people go there is to see the Sahara Desert, which is the world's largest subtropical desert. And in the Sahara, you can do all kinds of cool stuff like ride camels through the sand dunes and camp out under the stars. And in addition to the desert, Morocco's home to the Atlas Mountains, where you can hike, check out the waterfalls, and in the winter you can even ski there. I know, right? Morocco's not really the type of place you'd expect to go to shred the pow. Another incredibly unique place you'll only find in Morocco is Chefchaouen, which is the blue city. It looks like some kind of town made by Smurfs. You'll definitely want to make a stop there. The locals in Morocco are also known for being super hospitable to foreigners, so that's nice. It always just adds so much to the experience when the people in a place are nice. At number 9 on our list, we have Colombia, the one that's not British. Colombia is a super lively country in South America that has more culture shining through than just about anywhere else in Latin America. One thing that especially stood out to me in Colombia is how energetic and friendly the people are. I mean, that place is just a party waiting to happen. There's always these big parties on the rooftops, and the locals will teach you how to salsa dance, and it's just a good old time. The nightlife is especially pronounced in Cartagena, which is a beachside town up on the Caribbean. The beaches can get a little bit busy at times, but they are super fun, and the water is hella blue. Like blue, like bluer than Blue's Clues. That's how blue it is. But my favorite city in Colombia was Medellin, which I kid you not felt more modern than most American cities. And from there you can take buses to a lot of super dope places like Guatupé, where you can climb 650 steps up one of the biggest rocks in South America, the Rock of Peñon. And you can also go down to Salento, where you can explore the Corcora Valley and see the tallest palm trees on planet Earth and check out some coffee farms. Also, I feel like everyone really likes to overhype the crime in Colombia. Like, yeah, you need to be careful and take precautions, but overall it's a pretty safe place. I mean, I had 0 incidents while I was there. Meanwhile, my truck was being stolen in the US, so yeah. For number 8 on our list, we're gonna head over to Eastern Europe, where we're gonna hang out with our good friend Count Dracula in Romania. Huge thanks to my friend Ryan Shirley for letting me use some of his footage for these next 2 countries. He's pretty much the CEO of making top 10 travel videos on YouTube, and he's also been a super big inspiration and mentor for me getting started on YouTube this last year, so yay Ryan. So yeah, Romania is a super cool, underrated country, and you'll probably have a much better time there than anywhere in Western Europe. I really don't know why Eastern Europe is so overlooked. I mean, it has pretty much everything Western Europe has at a fraction of the price. One thing Romania is super well known for is its castles, especially Bran Castle in Transylvania, which is the inspiration for Dracula's castle. Romania is also home to the Carpathian Mountains, which is a super cool and unique mountain range that looks unlike anything else in the world. You can hike, see wildlife, and even ski in the winter. It's just a super chill place in Eastern Europe where you can escape into nature. There's also this highway there called the highway, and it's just like this windy, crazy deal through the hills. It's like a roller coaster of a road. Another super unique thing you can only find in Romania is Salina Turda. It's an old salt mine that was transformed into the world's largest underground amusement park. And Romania doesn't just have mountains, it also has a coastline because it borders the Black Sea, so that's pretty cool. You can do ocean things like swim. Coming in at number 7 on our list, we have Turkey. Gobble gobble. I got a joke for you guys. Why is it still Hungary if it's so close to Turkey and Greece? So Turkey is a super cool Middle Eastern country that has so much more beauty to it than you might expect. The biggest city in Turkey is Istanbul, which has over 15 million people. That's like literally 30 times the population of my entire state. Turkey's a Muslim country, and because of that, you can see all kinds of super cool architecture in their mosques. The 2 most popular mosques in Istanbul are the Hagia Sophia and the Blue Mosque. Another great place in Turkey is Cappadocia, which you've definitely seen pictures of if you've been on Instagram for more than 5 minutes. It's a super unique city carved into these cone-like rock formations, and it's just really famous for all the hot air balloons there. Another thing you'll find in Turkey is Pamukkale, which is all these white travertine terraces filled with turquoise blue hot springs. It seriously feels like another planet. I mean, where else can you find that? Turkey also has a Mediterranean coast, so you can do fun things like sailing and swimming and even paragliding, which is super popular there. At number 6 on the list, we have the country that I just got back from, and that is Ecuador. Of all the places I've ever been, I feel like Ecuador has the most diversity in the smallest area. So on the coast of Ecuador, you'll find Montevideo, which is kind of the rowdiest place on the coastline. It's a huge destination for surfing and partying, so if you're into that, that's the place to go. If you're looking for something more chill, you can find beach towns like Manta to just chill at. In the center of Ecuador, you'll be in the Andes, where you can find huge mountains to climb like Cotopaxi and Chimborazo, but you can also hang out the foothills with alpacas or go whitewater rafting or biking. There's so much to do in the Andes in Ecuador. And the other region of Ecuador is the Amazon, where you can go on a wildlife safari and see some of the coolest animals of your life, like anacondas and black caiman and pink dolphins. There's also tons of opportunities to experience the culture of some of the local tribes like the Quechua, and I actually had the opportunity to go deep into the Amazon and spend a week living with the Warani, who are a tribe who were actually only discovered 60 years ago. And I'm actually working on a video about it right now, so if you want to see that in the future, make sure to... For number 5, we're headed back to Eastern Europe and going to one of my personal favorite countries in the entire world, and that's Croatia. Croatia is a beautiful Mediterranean country that is just so much cheaper than anything you're gonna find in Western Europe. And it might seem like the people there would be really mean because they literally hogged up Bosnia and Herzegovina's entire coastline. But no, they're actually really nice people. I don't know what the deal with that was. So on the Croatian coastline, you'll find super blue, super warm water, and there's also all these friendly jellyfish swimming around everywhere in it. For real, I don't know what their deal is, but they're everywhere and their sting doesn't affect humans, so I'm all about it. The main reason I like the Croatian coastline though is because there's just cliffs running all up and down it. It's like a cliff jumping paradise. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of beaches, so if beaches are your jam, you're good, but there's even more cliffs. There's also a ton of super cool sea caves that you can kayak through, especially around Pula, and one of the most popular caves in all of Croatia is Blue Cave in Basevo Island, so you'll definitely want to check that out. Probably the coolest thing in all of Croatia though is inland, and it's called Plitvice Lakes National Park. Oh my gosh, when I tell y'all this is a fairy tale. Plitvice Lakes is just this giant cascade of all these ponds and waterfalls with these boardwalks going through them. You really have to experience the place to fully appreciate it, but it is just so gorgeous. Croatia is also home to a lot of cool cities and architecture. Actually, in Pula, they have a Roman Colosseum. It looks just like the ones in Rome, except it's in Croatia. And even though most people go to Croatia for the coast, there's also mountains like the Biokovo Range, and they're just pretty, just straight up pretty. At number 4 on the list, we have South Africa. And you're probably saying to me right now, wait, I thought this was a budget travel list. South Africa sounds expensive. Yeah, it kind of sounds expensive because it was colonized by the British and Sam Colder lived there. But as it turns out, for the most part, South Africa is really cheap. As my friend Chris Rogers described it to me, South Africa is kind of like if Southern California, Bali, and Hawaii all had a baby. It has the weather of Southern California, it has the landscape of Hawaii, and it has the prices of Bali. I mean, how can it even get better than that? So the most popular place in South Africa is Cape Town, which is also becoming a huge hub for travel creators and digital nomads. You can go surfing, you can hang out with penguins on the beach. I'm not kidding, there are penguins there, and even go out on a boat to go whale watching. If you go to South Africa, don't just spend all your time in Cape Town though, because there's so much more to see. There's also the Drakensberg Mountains, which is a beautiful place for hiking and sightseeing. And a safari in South Africa is actually really similar to the safaris you'd go on in Central Africa like Kenya or Tanzania, but they're actually cheaper. I don't get that. They sound like they'd be more expensive, but a lot of the times they're cheaper. And at number 3, we have one of the most underrated and dope places in Southeast Asia, and that's Vietnam. So every country in Southeast Asia is unique, and I hate saying one is just like the other, but in Vietnam, you're gonna have super similar experiences to what you'd have in Thailand, but it's cheaper and not as touristy, so you're gonna have fewer crowds. First off, in Vietnam, there's a ton of ancient history and temples to be seen, like the Bulong Buddhist Temple. Also, the food's so good that America has a Vietnamese restaurant on like every block. But the thing about Vietnam that I love so much is the nature there. So Vietnam actually has the biggest cave in the entire world and a bunch of other caves that are not the biggest cave in the world, but still pretty dang big. So if you want to explore some really big caves, Vietnam is your place. Another super cool thing to do in Vietnam is go on a road trip on the Ha Giang Loop. It's just a super gorgeous route route that goes through all this glowing countryside just right up against the border of China. You'll see some sights on that road trip that you can't see anywhere else. The Banjiak waterfalls is also something you really don't want to miss. It's this gorgeous cascade of waterfalls. I'm sure you've seen it all over Instagram. Stop there. Vietnam also has a huge coastline, and you're gonna find a bunch of beautiful beaches. One of the more popular areas of the coast is called Ha Long Bay, and it's like a drone pilot's paradise. At number 2 on the list, we have Georgia. The country, not the one where you get your peaches. So the funny thing about Georgia is it's a country that's considered neither Europe nor Asia. It's kind of right in the middle, and if you go there, you'll find influences from both continents. So to me, the most impressive thing about Georgia is the Svaneti region. Georgia's home to some massive mountains, including Shkara Massif, which is the second biggest mountain in all of Europe. Georgia is a country that does not get that much tourism, and I do not know how, because those mountains are like, it's basically Switzerland with Central American prices. On top of the mountains, Georgia's also home to the Martvili Canyon, which is definitely something worth seeing while you're there. And Georgia even borders the Black Sea, so on top of the mountains and everything else, you can get in some seaside life. So yeah, if you're looking for beautiful landscapes and you can't decide between Europe or Asia, you found your place. Alright folks, we're there. Numero uno. I planned to be there a week and a half, and I ended up staying over a month because I was just that into it. And that country is Guatemala. But it should be called Guatabuena, because it's the best place ever. So the best starting point in Guatemala is called Antigua Guatemala, which literally means ancient Guatemala. It's a city that just takes you back in time. I mean, every single stone in the street was laid by hand. But the biggest thing to love about Guatemala are the volcanoes, and there's tons of them. So if you only have time to do one thing in Guatemala, it should be the Mount Acatenango hike. Pretty much you climb Mount Acatenango, which is only 3 kilometers away from Volcan de Fuego, which is an active roaring volcano. It literally might be my favorite hike I've ever been on, and I've been on a hike or 3. Another wild volcano to check out is Volcan Pacaya. Unlike Volcan de Fuego, which explodes and has these violent eruptions, Volcan Pacaya is like slow flowing lava like you'd find in Hawaii. You can actually go straight up to the lava and roast marshmallows and cook steaks, and it's a good old time. Another incredible place in Guatemala is Lake Atitlan, which is one of the most tranquil places I've ever been. This sounds like something an astrology girl would say, but the energy of that place was just on point. I mean, you can ride kayaks and hang out with people and jump off docks, and there's some beautiful hikes in the surrounding area, and that lake, it was just something else. I loved it there. And then if you go up to the north end of Guatemala, you can check out this place called Semuc Champey, which is just these cascades of blue water in the middle of the jungle. Northern Guatemala also has the ruins of Tikal, which are some lesser known Mayan ruins. And Guatemala might be the cheapest place I've ever been in Latin America. While I was there, I stayed at this one hostel that literally costed $2. And on top of all these places to explore, Guatemalans are just the best people. They're super sweet and kind, and unlike in a lot of countries, I never feel like they're trying to take advantage of me as a tourist. So yeah, that's my top 10 places to go this year on the budget. I want to know what you guys would add or take away from this list, so let me know in the comments. So yeah, that's about all I got for you guys. Bye. Oh!